Hey, my friends, we just read Exodus 5 through 8, and there's a lot to unpack today, so stick with me. We see Moses confront Pharaoh with God's demand for freedom. Hashtag let my people go. Like, for real? You know what I'm saying? Anyway, shocker alert, Pharaoh refused, suffering increased, conflict escalated, and the plagues began. We see miracles collide, from both sides. Like there's white and black magic, for my fantasy nerd friends watching on Scroll and Third right now. And we see that the gods are challenged. The overarching theme of today is Yahweh reveals who really rules Egypt. And everything started with these plagues. And I want to focus on these plagues today if I could. But everything started with Pharaoh asking a very dangerous question: who is the Lord, all capital, that I should obey him? And I just want to be clear, this isn't ignorance. This is just defiance. This is just defiance of divine authority. We see Pharaoh, he claims to be a godlike individual who rules over Egypt, but the plagues become God's, Yahweh's, the Lord's answer to that question: who is the Lord that I should obey him? We see the serpent miracle, it already shows who is greater. Egypt's magician copy Moses, but their serpents are eaten, and Israel's God consumes Egypt's power. This establishes hierarchy before judgment ever begins. You see, this battle isn't Moses versus Pharaoh, but it's God, capital Lord, Yahweh versus little lowercase gods, these little bitty gods, like I like to call them. And these first plagues, they strike Egypt right at its spiritual foundation. We see the Nile River turn to blood. Like, goodness, the Nile River turned to blood. This is Egypt's lifeline, and it's attacked. We see frogs overrun the land, even into Pharaoh's palace, which is hilarious to me anyway. I got a dark sense of humor, dark and twisted, but we see magicians that they can imitate all of these things, but they cannot undo what God has done. God is not impressed by counterfeit power, and the Nile turning to blood actually humiliates Egypt's river god. Her name was Hapai, or his name, I don't know. Was it a her or him or they? I don't know, in 2026 or in, 1800 BC. I don't know. But I digress. Hapai was worshipped as the source of life and fertility, and the river becomes death. That was supposed to be a blessing. And this shows that Yahweh controls creation, not Egypt's little bitty gods. The lifeblood of the empire answers to Israel, and the plague of frogs mocks Egypt's goddess of birth, Heket. We know this demon goddess is a girl. Heket was worshipped as a frog, bringing life. Now frogs bring chaos instead of blessing. And I want to pause here. Think back, hearken back to Genesis, God creating order out of chaos. Now God is exposing these gods for what they truly are. They're demons of chaos. And these gods, they were meant to protect families. At least that's the line that they sold Egypt, but they become a curse. And Yahweh controls life, not the idols and demons of Egypt. And when dust becomes like lice, the magicians finally collapse. Geb was the god of the ground and earth. And can I just call Geb Jeb? Because that seems a little more 417. That seems a little more Seymour, Missouri. It's kind of like GIF and JIF. I'm gonna call him Jeb. Jeb was the god of the ground and earth, and God turns the earth itself into a plague. And these magicians, they admit this is the finger of God. And Egypt's religion publicly breaks down. It breaks down. And the later plagues, they dismantle Egypt's claims of protection. The livestock die. The mocking bull and cow gods like Apis and Hathor and Baal strike bodies, proving healing gods like Isis are powerless. No God can shield Egypt from Yahweh. And God's authority reaches every level of life. And we see darkness becomes the clearest theological strike. The sun god Re was Egypt's highest deity, and darkness shuts down the supposed source of light. I think I remember Genesis chapter 1. Yahweh said, "Let there be light." And here in Exodus, Yahweh proves he controls the heavens. He controls the light sources. And Egypt's greatest god is reduced to silence. Where is your gods? Where are they? So the plagues, they reveal more than punishment. Yahweh is not one God among a pantheon of gods. He is actually at the top of the divine council, and he is the only capital G God. In Egypt's gods, they're not even in the council, and they're exposed as powerless. Creation itself obeys Yahweh in the presence of all of these Egyptian gods. Where are they? The plagues ultimately answers Pharaoh's question, who is the Lord that I should obey? He is the Lord, your God, Pharaoh, and he shut down the sun. So you answer to him. And I'm glad that we answer to Yahweh. I'm glad we answer to Jesus Christ. Aren't you? All right, amen. Hey, thanks for sticking with me. Love y'all. See y'all in the discussion room.